So why don't we just dive right in, Amy, and let's talk about the first topic that we're going to discuss, which is what role does the workplace diversity play in your decision to join a company? What are some of the things that you would look for in a company as you interview when you graduate in a couple of years from Fordham?
I definitely would love to see people of my age. That's a huge factor, as well as seeing people of different races and different colors, and also more females in computer science. Because throughout college and throughout my experience through industry, I see a lack of women, and so to see that a company appreciates all these different flavors of diversity really makes me want to join them because they understand how important it is to have a diverse work environment. For example, I've seen like my friends and different coworkers join companies and they realize it's not very diverse. They don't feel they're the only fresh out of college student. They're only, and then the rest of the coworkers are 20 years older than them. It's not that they don't enjoy the company of the workers. It's just there's an age gap, and that kind of makes them feel a little uncomfortable. Or when I work at a company and some of my friends mention that they don't see any women besides themselves, and that really kind of makes them detract from the company and eventually want to break off and find a new for themselves.
Yeah, and how do you think that having people that are in your age group and having more women, how do you think that may help you within do you work better?
They definitely understand when I talk to somebody of my age and um, my gender as well. They kind of understand the way I'm thinking a bit more. So like when I talk to them, they can understand. Oh, this is how the newest thing has been. The newest thing in computer science is starting. For example, some of my teachers don't know some of the new technology there is in the world. And when I talk to some students who like study on their own or they like love learning about new technology, they always want to start using new ideas. They're always pushing for the new latest thing instead of always using something that was like a little bit more in the time of another generation. So it's always nice to talk to them because they have a new perspective on what's out there in the market these days.
That's right. And so it's staying fresh, right? Staying innovative. And I can definitely see that as being a very important aspect of any business, right? Staying cutting edge, being aware of what are the latest things that are out there, and being able to think how can we implement these things in our environment? How can we use them, if at all, in our environment? That's great. And so now you have this. So then diversity, in terms of gender diversity, is something that you would look for as you examine and analyze the companies that you can potentially join going forward. Thank you for that.
Definitely.
And so, have you found, Amy, that even in your classes in computer science and math, that you already mentioned that you were the minority as a gender? Because I know that was the case for me in my computer science classes through most of my formal college education. And how hasn't how has that either encouraged you or discouraged you in this field so far?
It definitely stands out every single time I go to a class or even my research. The first year I joined my research team, I was the only female. And the reason why uh, scholarships like the Claire Booth Luce Research funded my research was for the fact that there were very few women in STEM careers and STEM research. Um, those opportunities that always push me as a female to keep going into STEM because there's so much support for women to encourage women to join. Um, at the same time, it does detract me slightly because I question, as anybody would, what my gender, you know, means to this group or organization if they don't, if there already is not diversity, because we're already progressing to a time where there should be at this point.
Mhm.
And not to see it kind of discourages me that that things have been moving so slowly.
Things are moving very slowly. And the good news is that more and more companies are keenly aware of this and are taking great measures to make sure that we actually looking at the whole talent pool, and that unconscious biases and things that are keeping managers from hiring diversity, that those are being addressed proactively. So that is the good news for you and for those of us who are already out here in industry, especially women.